Iyo. Oh my god, it's not working. Suddenly it's not working. Suddenly it's not working anymore. Mana ya? Kok nggak bisa? What is happening? No, I don't wanna see. I don't wanna see analytics. Nggak! Yang kemarin tuh gimana ya? Tega. Oh, ganti kesayangan. Gak kesayangan. Hai. Halo. Nggak bisa temenin stream. Pagi harus berangkat. Mau kemana? Pasti mau ketemuan sama Bobob ya? Ya nggak. Iya, dia nyambung. Dapat. Sedap. Basi. Hai. Suddenly, enggak kok. Udah dari tadi kok. Aku lagi bingung. Biasanya kalau di restream ini buka restream dari sini, bukanya dari app ya kan, pasti habis itu di browser buka restreamnya, terus ada kayak cara buat ngelink yang browser ke sini gitu. But now it's gone. Dia habis update baru kayaknya, tadi dia suruh ini masuk baru, nyebelin banget. Gimana? Malam Mei. Buat malam beli. Selamat malam. Rahajeng. Itu Bas. Ide bagus kan? Malam apa? Rahajeng apa? Kita cari sama yang penduduk asli. Wow. Rega, upacara apa? Oh my god. I never would have thought that. Oh. It's starting. It's starting. Has it started yet? Has it? Eddie vlog. Hai. Kamu lucu. Ada jantungnya. Hai. Siapa nih Eddie vlog gue? Baterai saya sukses. No, you're not successful my ass. Bas, sejak kapan kamu punya kuping kucing? Am I stupid? What? You don't like cat? You don't like cat, or is cat too much for you? Should I add something else? Mana ya? Di mana ya? Shit. Nih, I'm gonna be a cat. Si Bas punya 10 kucing by the way. Cat. It's weird. Nempel ke sini, Cok. Nah. What do you think? Gini. Kucing. Never enough. Yes. Where is the announcement? Oh my god. Wait, I'm supposed to be.
Hey.
Oh hi. Is this the announcement?
Yep, the announcement's live right now. They announced it, Yall.
Has they announced it yet?
Yeah, it's built to scale.
Scale?
It's a scale. Yeah, the changing of size, things like that. Built to scale. It's not immediately making anything pop directly in my brain, but let's see if we can.
What did I miss?
Get up some ideas. Almost everything. Pretty much
Kaget nih.
size, scale, and dimensions is a part of the gameplay.
Hai Kai. Hai. Bikin kaget, ini lagi ujian ini tiba-tiba. Thank you. Buat salamnya. Please pat me.
So you weren't
Please
able
pat
to
my head.
delete one of these? Or neither of these belong
I
to you?
deleted the untitled one.
Oh, it's still showing.
I just deleted it, so I might need to refresh.
Oh,
Kai siapa? Kai siapa?
yeah, okay, cool.
Kai teh saha?
Or,
Who are you? Who are you?
yeah,
I'm the
trying
10th
to
one.
search
Wow.
through what we might think this means.
Am I your... Loh. Loh. Hey.
I'll also share a link to just jump on board.
Nonton sendiri deh.
Find that board link.
Oh. Ini dia.
GMTK Game Jam 2024 begins right now.
Oh, let me get you all
Your goal.
links to this, so anybody can pop in here. GMTK.
Hai Kai. Sapa hayo. The long lost ex boyfriend of my ex friend of mine.
This is going into-
Kai. Hai. Lama tak jumpa. Ternyata kamu jadi kamu malam-malam ya munculnya sekarang manusia mayam.
So everybody should be able to click on that and then be able to get into the mirror board to see that
Hap.
workshop just popped in.
Nyamuk.
And then there are sticky notes, and you can just throw a sticky note onto the page and just start dumping ideas. I think we should just brainstorm it.
Scale.
Come up with whatever
Scale.
ideas.
Scale.
Doesn't
Timbangan.
matter what they are,
Scale.
no one
Size. Scale. Siren.
filter things down,
Scale
group things
fish.
together.
Scale.
Maybe pick a color so you know where all your things are. They can all have a different color.
I'm coming back from Figma. I can't remember where sticky notes are.
It's on the left-hand side. It's a little square with a little triangle inside of it.
There we go.
Yep. You can also copy and paste other people's.
All
Just
right.
create something. So, Clay comes to mind.
Okay.
And the theme is built to scale, right?
Built to scale, yeah. Let me
Built.
to scale.
The theme is
Yeah, do
built
that.
to scale.
To
Theme.
scale.
Theme.
Whoop.
Built to scale. Bangsat apa itu?
Mirror board.
Hah?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I haven't used Miro, but
What's that?
I just stick to Figma.
What's that?
Okay. Well,
Apa
it
itu?
works a lot like Figma.
Apa itu? Kok bisa ada musik muncul? Musiknya dari mana anjing?
This is really fake jam.
Musiknya dari mana? What is that? What is that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Apa itu? Apa itu barusan? Lagu macam apa itu?
Periodically mute myself here because I'm having lunch.
Eh? Is it Kai? Atau itu error? Bukan Kai, bukan kok. Siapa itu tadi? Who is that? Who was that? Model trains? What? Mario Mushroom. Build to scale. Come on, Bas, Rega, Made, Kai, yang otaknya masih jalan. From the theme, what do you get? Build to scale theme. Gatel. Gatel. Model Gundam kits. Microscope. The city building. Ant-Man, giant man. Always a bigger fish. What? Rega build to scale. Perception game. Artisnya aku doang ya. Aku cuma bisa 2D. Please don't make my life worse. Okay, hi. So, who's the artist in this group?
I don't know.
I don't think if anybody took responsibility for that. I did some sprite work for the last game jam I worked on, but yeah, I don't think anyone's claimed that or has that responsibility or has that skill set.
I mean, I am, but am I the only one here?
I think you're probably the primary.
You might be, yeah.
Yeah, I cannot draw.
So just do all the work, all right?
Yeah, but just want to put it out there that I can only do 2D assets.
Okay. I mean, that's good to know. Do we feel like that should be a limitation of what we do?
Yes,
We can always
please.
agree to that
I
if we
can't do
want.
2D
It's
yet.
better to stick to 2D anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if we did something like 3D, it could be like Demon Turf, where everything's just a sprite.
Or Doom.
Yeah.
2D sprites on a 3D plane. Yeah, I
I
guess
like that.
don't limit yourself too much in the thinking, but keep in mind that the art assets likely will be 2D. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it will be 2D either presented in 3D or just on a 2D background.
Does it have to be safe to work? Safe for work?
Yes. It has to not only has to be safe for work, it has to be not quite family friendly, but like no strong language. What were the rules? They have like a specific set of rules around some of that. Let me pull it up. Should be suitable for a general audience, so please avoid strong language and excessive gore. Your game should not contain nudity or hateful language or visuals. So it doesn't mean no violence, it just doesn't need to be excessive.
Okay.
Hmm. I don't know what to say. Scale? Silence?
The scales are, I mean, you can take a look at some of the other post-it notes that other people have been doing, and just see if that triggers anything in your head. I think we're looking for not only gameplay mechanics or things that just get us thinking in the right direction, but also like we have this theme doesn't lend anything to a particular style. It doesn't lead anything to a particular, like it doesn't tell me that it's science fiction or fantasy or a first-person shooter or a platform. There's nothing about it that sets that direction. So I think the mechanics is going to end up being what kind of leads us down a path of thinking about those things, unless people have a really strong opinion about what we should be doing right from the start.
Do you think story-based game will be like people will like that, especially if you want to win? I think I saw somebody be like, okay, let's win this.
I've got no intention of winning personally. This is my first time doing one of these, but
Who said they want to
I wanna
win?
make something cool.
I need first place.
You need first place. Oh shit.
I need first place.
Wow. Yeah, that's that.
That's baseline.
Okay. And then we only go up from there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sticky note. Sticky note. Sticky note. Pink.
Oh.
Henshin?
Yeah.
Henshin mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's when changing scale, thinking like, you know, somebody transforming or changing.
Ultraman.
Scale. Yeah, Ultraman style stuff. I had to get it on the board before Duffy did. I don't know if he put it on there.
I already got combining robots and giant monsters up here.
I like the metamorphosis in Henshin. They're almost the same thing.
Yeah. What is it? Nazuman?
Word.
Jadi begitu, build to scale. Any idea? Any good ideas? Any good ideas? Factory game? What do
I
we
want
do
to
with
fuss around
factory
with the word
game?
scale, but then I can only think of like, you know, justice. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. That's a whole can of worms.
Climbing.
Climbing?
Scaling. Climbing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the justice system kind of works. Reminds me of Ace Attorney scales.
Oh, yeah.
Dragons.
Scales. Let's just put Ace Attorney.
Dragons, Let's the scales.
Ace Attorney. Lol. Kalau skill,
Build the scale, you build a mountain or terrain and then climb it.
kalau skill nggak terbatas di
Not like,
physical
Mario Maker type deal.
skill, mungkin bisa pakai economic skill.
I want to see someone recreate Final Fantasy.
Gonna put it
now.
here. Economic skill. Economic skill.
Probably all about the numbers going up.
That is scale, because you, whatchamacallit, you exponentially growth.
Catat. Small scale
What
business.
about it? If you instead
Small
of building
scale
a park, you're building
business.
so the room that gets smaller or something.
Big scale. Best. Wait, I'm so annoyed. Aku digigit nyamuk. Dinyamukin gua. Rega, build to Oh, Rhythm Heaven boleh. Dia ini kan tar.
Bygone era.
Rhythm.
Does anyone else here know Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yes.
How to what?
Okay, that's
What age
one.
range of the recruiter?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm grabbing. Oh my. Selimut.
Who was alive when Reagan was president?
Regrettably. Political jokes.
What works too? Economic scale. We're taking this too far. Definitely taking this too far. Zoom out, zoom in. Factory game. Di kalian kelihatan gak sih? Okay, this is what we have so far. Rebuilding society on the back of the monster that destroyed the old one. How is that related to scale? What is nesting dolls? Building an environment then climbing it. Scales. Memory. Post it. Aku kepikiran somehow malah building memory via kayak ada kan game yang kayak builds memory pakai foto-foto gitu, tapi ini instead of foto, artnya tuh di dalam kayak scale gitu, jadi collecting actual scale, fish scale.
Give it like another 5 minutes, and then we'll start comparing things and talking about it. See if we can come up with anything interesting based on our. That work for everybody?
I'm down.
I'm hungry. Hai Radio, halo. Masih 2.0 ya, nggak 3.0, nggak naik juga ya. Hihihi. Ini game collecting scales which has memories imprinted in it, and those scales will need to be assembled to make bigger scale. What? Gak jelas ah. Fish, Resi, ada yang menarik nggak ininya? Diskonannya? Okay, let's see the other people's. The Yellow, managing a construction team that also has to combine their vehicles to fight giant monster that regularly destroy the city. Whoever put managing construction vehicles, I'm not really good at drawing vehicles. I can, but it will take so long compared to other pretty stuff. So, if you can contribute in the drawing, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely consider our skill sets and stuff as we start like merging ideas together and thinking through what the thing actually might be.
Dyeing reduces your
So
size.
like, hey, I don't even want to make that, or I can't make that.
Reduces your
I'm
PP
super
size.
interested in something because whatever we're all most interested in is going to be the easiest thing to make.
So every time you died, your PP size minus 1 centimeter, and then you have to finish getting the heart of your crush before that happens. Apa-apaan ini?
Okay, one more minute. We'll start.
Player can squish and stretch their body. Level gets smaller over time. Perspective shifting. What the fuck is perspective? Inside out. Cute. Cute. Cute idea.
Let's. Okay, so all of us have access to like
So
these
cute.
things and move them around.
This is so cute.
So I think we should just take a few minutes and start moving things around and putting them into like piles of things that feel like they're related, and maybe that'll push us in a particular direction.
Sounds good. Alright, let's see, giant
Yeah,
monster. Da-da-da-da-da.
Nah, gitu. Gitu nggak sih? Come on, skills. Nope, I'm not. We'll just see what the fuck are they doing right now. Bro Adit, hai. Pagi Mei, ohayo. Selamat pagi. Bagi yang belum tidur, selamat malam.
Jacket. There it is. You jerk.
Mm.
Where's everything going?
Honey, I shrunk the kids.
Might be able to zoom out to the picture.
Radio, nama aslinya apa yang tidak sementara?
So, zoom out, zoom in.
Henshin. I like Henshin. Henshin mechanics. I like it. I like the one. Nyamuk, brengsek.
Always a bigger fish, that's always fun.
This is interesting. Post it. Kacau tapi sih.
That's where did that go? Oh, it's been pretty bad. We should go like steak and spore. Very
Nggak dapet sih. Gimana Bas? Ada yang menarik nggak? Rega, ada yang menarik nggak? I'm hungry. The more we eat, the more
Economic scale and quicker game kind of go with gun game.
I eat, the fatter I am.
Where's gun game?
What's gun game mode mechanics?
No, where?
Endgame.
Like,
Oh, where is
It's
it?
kind of nice.
I just moved over to quicker games and economic scale on the lower right hand side.
okay,
I
yeah.
think I'd say that's somewhat different.
Too much of a
Gun
stretch.
game. I'm thinking about gun game in terms of like Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
You start with a knife, then you get the pistol. Oh, I see how you think. Okay.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
see the connection now. I didn't think of it that way. That's interesting. The click again, it turns. It's just using gun game mechanics.
Thank you, ayah.
Implement animal.
Kak, hari ini aku
I was thinking of an honest scale.
selamat ulang
You
tahun.
start off with a tiny gun, you use it to get a bigger gun.
Mei ucapkan selamat.
It's small.
Makin tua lagi bentar mati. What?
Here.
Escalating choices, hard choices that built on previous one. What is this? Global warming. Hey, small. Global warming.
The gun doesn't change in the gun game. When you get it killed, the projectile keeps changing out of the same
That'd be
gun.
fun.
Rega yang terpikirkan cuman Mario Bros. Perspektif sama Rhythm Heaven. Aku agak bosen sebenarnya sama, makanya kenapa aku bosen kalau oke scale and then scale titik satu view POV-nya satu scale satu pak and then jadi gitu. Aku mau carinya biar dia agak beda gitu loh. What scale? Kayak to approach of scale in one game if possible.
Less and less movement.
Kayak bukan cuman scale besar kecil pop tapi there is a bigger scale of the entire horror whatever it is
You kind of have a sense of
descending into the center of an what?
around it.
Oh, this is cute.
Just have a quick discussion about them and see if
Yeah.
This is actually
there's
cute.
any ideas.
This is cute.
Jot some notes down about what we like about this group, what we don't like, and then maybe that leads us down the path.
Cute. Hi.
Sound good?
That works for me.
I'm just gonna basically start from left to right. So, is there a way
Do I have to delete this?
follow-
They can't take
I
jokes.
think tab, does that call attention to you? No.
Bah. Biarin dah, mereka berlima so and they're all boys. Fuck. Basi, pilih yang paling kamu confident
Okay,
in.
so if you click
I
on
don't
somebody's
know.
name, it'll follow their screen.
I don't
And then if you
know.
want
There.
to, yeah, you can just click on the board owner.
I don't know which one I have
Yeah,
no
the upper
confidence.
right-hand corner
Nope.
where all of
Jelly!
the accounts are.
Me! Hi, Jell!
Kevin Barton.
Hi!
Left to right. It's just scroll as much as I can.
Jelly!
Uh,
Abis baca Mrs. Mistress, apakah ada yang ngikutin kamu?
kicked off this one from this dragon idea from Scales, and then I thought about dragons are going to be cool because they start small and they get incredibly big, or can be, and so that kind of gives you some sort of scale and a pun on scale, and so that's kind of where this idea was leading to, and I don't know exactly what that would be other than like you could do like a Stardew style thing to where you're like raising dragons, or it could end up being something to where you're Tamagotchi style building up dragons to raise them, or you could raise them to fight, or there's like an onslaught of knights coming. I don't know. It's just there's a lot to play with in there.
There's the game Wingspan, which is an engine builder, which, you know, not to say to build that, but
Jelly, ini game apaan? Bukan! Ini bukan
how
game!
that is all about.
Ini kita lagi brainstorm
managing,
buat bikin
limited
game.
space.
I
Wormspan,
think
sorry.
it'd be pretty cool. Yeah. I
You-
think it'd be pretty cool if there was like a breeding simulator, but if the animal gets too large, in this case maybe dragons, it would just overwhelm everything and break the entire game.
Yeah.
There's an Indian guy. Jelly! Ini mau bikin game, jadi ini ikut Global Game Jam.
Boys
Terus
Boys
kali ini
I also
apa sih namanya? Theme game itu adalah build to scale.
Story game collecting scales, which has memories imprinted.
Gitu, begitu. Dan ini lagi sama timnya, nggak jelas timnya, pokoknya dapat gitu di random. Like in the wild.
Like if you wanted to build in like the dragon not only increasing in size but also like going through life changes in some way, that could be kind of cool. Like if it hits, I don't know, dragon puberty, it starts smashing things or something.
I was gonna say, hit the
And then in
so
old
hard.
age, once they're really big, they're slow and old and, you know, eventually die or whatnot. Do something like that.
Ya, ini lagi build game konsep. Ya. Ceritanya lagi kumpulin semua ide brainstorm and then
Size.
we're gonna talk about it. Kalau kamu misalnya ada ide yang related dengan temanya,
Move up.
tuh
So we
build
got
to
scaling
scale.
Scaling the environment, perspective shifting, shrinking environment, zoom out, zoom in.
No, I hate it. Please don't do that. Please do not zoom out to me. No.
Speak to kind of the topic. You got something in there?
I do not have anything there. Who had light green and dark green?
Jadi pernah ikut
Oh,
Global Game Jam?
Yeah, what were you thinking about these?
Yeah. So like basically something on the lines of a platformer or top down, where you could like scale the environment and for puzzles, something along those.
Platformer. Yeah, I think if we went with some sort of, so the first thing that we talked about is more of a simulation kind of thing. This would be more of a platformer action kind of thing.
Ngomong-ngomong
Where the
scale,
character can change size or change
aku ingat
height.
yang main HSR tuh loh, terus ada kayak
And
foto,
ultimately
bisa
that
harus
ends up
cocokin
feeling
sama
the
yang di
same, but
belakang.
it has a different theme.
Jadi kalau kita maju kan kita lebih gede tuh dibanding yang belakang.
Like Honey, I Shrunk the
Mundur
Kids,
mundur
all of a
mundur
sudden
dikit
you're
pas
dealing with
gambarnya. It's
puzzles.
considered scaling,
Whereas
right?
if you're growing
Tapi 3D ya.
you're
Can
dealing
we
with
make it
buildings and
in 2D?
and stuff like that, like a King Kong style thing, or even going in between those two things would be interesting if there was a way to do it.
Platformer tuh yang kayak Mario gitu kan ya?
Some
Poing
stuff
poing.
here. So we got a lot of yellow. This you, Duffy?
Yep, that's me. Alright, so, what we got here? We got little, big person, a little world, so kind of like, Giant Man, Ant-Man sort of thing. That might be down lower there. Let's see, Henchman Mechanics, Metamorphosis, that is some sort of transformation thing going on there, either through you interacting with an environment as a small character and later as a bigger character and being able to change things in different degrees. Do you want to speak onto the Henchman Mechanics? I think that is your one as well.
I just stole it from you. I mean, it's just
Okay.
it's just a dude turning into another thing.
Yeah.
So it's into the metamorphosis superhero style stuff.
Yeah, so going into that, especially with built to scale, you got me thinking about Ultraman, and one of the things I like is a bunch of clips people post of, okay, there's a fight going on, and then like you see him fall down, and like as he's on the ground, he sees a small car, like it's literally a toy car underneath a bunch of debris, and he just stops, takes the debris off it, picks up the car, looks inside, waves at the people, puts the car down, and drives away, and he waves as it drives away, and like something with managing that while fighting a giant monster, but keeping the pace of combat kind of small.
Who do you think are gonna draw of them?
Would be a way
Who?
to manage, like, okay, how am I going to protect the people in this environment while also dealing with this threat? Kind of goes into giant monster, combining robot down there. Also, I have managing a construction team that also has to combine their vehicles to fight giant monsters that regularly destroy the city. So, kind of like a SimCity thing, like, okay, phase one, we have to build the city up, use our construction vehicles. Each vehicle has like a specialty, like this one's built for digging, this one builds the water system, this one builds the power system, however you want to do it. And then you also take those vehicles, they combine to find a giant robot. Depending on how you do maybe your upgrade system, you could have it be like, okay, I'm going to upgrade the bulldozer, which is also the left arm that is responsible for clearing out leveling the environment, let's say. So I'm going to be 2 phases without the bulldozer, which means we won't be able to level out the area for a little bit, but also we won't have that left arm during the giant monster fight.
It's an interesting idea.
And
At first I was
then-
like, that's way too complex, and then I realized like all you really need is 4 different tiles on a map, and that tile can't be interacted with unless the bulldozer's on it or the crane is on it.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then it
like,
turns into a building, and then some monster comes through, and you have to move all your things together to then be able to fight the monster. I get it.
Motherfucker.
That's
Yeah.
not too complex. It sounded way too complex at first, and I was thinking it's like a full 3D.
yeah, the more words, the
See,
more
this is the reason kenapa aku bilang aku mau belajar coding aja sih
and
kemarin.
then rebuild society.
So I don't have to.
Before we go on from this though, because I think Mei, is that what you want to be called, Mei?
Ya. Ya.
Mei? Yeah. Okay. You're the main artist for this. Are you more comfortable with? It sounds like you're not very comfortable with vehicles. Do you feel like you're more comfortable with like organic stuff versus non-organic stuff?
Organic.
Is that like a good way?
Gotcha.
Okay.
I mean, if you can help me with drawing the robots and etc., sure. But for me, I can do it, but it's gonna take maybe five times longer than compared to if I am gonna have to draw organic stuff.
Gotcha.
And that all I'm getting there is that it is a lot of the mechanics that we're talking about could very easily be either a mechanical thing or an organic thing, and it wouldn't really change how the game works.
Yeah.
Of course, you can always change the robots to magical girls.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, monsters, magical girls, anything.
Yeah.
Anything besides like metallic, straight line stuff. Seems like you're gonna do more other stuff.
I can attest drawing vehicles as a nightmare. Do you want me to go over the other ones, or we think we're good?
Yeah, go ahead. I just wanted to
All right.
make sure that we're thinking in the right direction.
Yeah. So this should be quicker. Rebuilding society on the back of the monster that destroyed the old one. I think there's actually a game out now that's kind of like that. But like basically, your city got destroyed. You are survivors living on the back of the Godzilla that destroyed your city, and now you're trying to rebuild, and you're inside like the scales of the creature, like hiding underneath it, and then having to deal with city building stuff, but also like, oh, it's in a fight with another giant monster. We're gonna have to like be prepared to help the monster that we're on somehow, or otherwise defend. And lastly, that physics-based platform fighter. I don't think that one is me. They're growing as combat mechanics.
Sorry, I think I was also
And
It's fine. It's fine.
But I was just thinking like kind of like Smash Bros. How you trying to knock the other person off. But if you had like a shrink ray or something. I don't know, very concept, but.
It just gave me an idea of like sumo wrestlers that change size because you're trying to push each other out, and there's some way to like get bigger and just take up the space.
like let's say sumo wrestlers, like you're saying, you can change size. If you are bigger, you are harder to move, and also you're a bigger target. If you're smaller, you're easier to move, but also a smaller target. So there would be a point where you could be so small you could not be hit by the bigger person, like you go between their legs or something.
Pretty funny.
But how would you get small?
Like mechanically or like diegetically?
Yeah, like mechanically.
That could be a slider.
Like
I'm not
in the
sure.
game.
So if you thought of it
No,
as a
if
top-down
it's just-
thing. Sorry, go ahead.
It's fine.
Okay, what I was saying is that if you thought of it as a top-down circle, like a ring, and let's say it was a 4-player thing, and then your character was just a circle within that ring, but that circle could continue to grow. It takes away the space of other people to be in the area, but you move around slower, and when you bump into people, they bump off of you. And then you could just throw power-ups onto the field that would either shrink you or grow you. So, baseballs or something, who knows?
Oh!
Some random thing that's either like food or like a barbell, so it looks like you're losing weight or something. So just something that causes it to go up and down. It could just be arrows, really. That'd be an interesting way of being able to just like push people around and change your scale. You're like going
NPC, saya telat belum? Telat banget.
avoid the big guy.
Ini bener-bener lagi berantakan nih, lagi berantem nih. Tap.
No, it's a cool idea. Cool. Let's see. Level gets smaller over time. We kind of have that. Let me bring that over here. Kind of fits there. Player
Oh,
can switch to body. Also kind of
Untuk menjadi dewasa aja lah.
nice microscope stuff.
Harus melewati rintangan. Oh, this is actually gonna be good.
The atom
Kalau emang mereka mau sih, tapi nggak tahu.
Like, what does that mean?
So that was me. So I was thinking like I kind of got the idea from Outer Wilds, how you're descending into like spoilers for that game, but you descend into a location towards the end of the game. Let's say that you are another good example, actually, the comparison of Cocoon. Has anyone here played Cocoon or the Outer Wilds?
I play Cocoon. Yeah.
What's cocoon?
So in Cocoon, you are kind of a little bug that's going inside these orbs, that each orb contains its own world, and inside each of those orbs is also another orb containing its own world. So you're diving further into a world as you go, and the scale of is incorporated kind of like how if you do something outside of one orb, the world within it is going to be impacted by that somehow.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. maybe we can implement a new thing into that as well. Like, if it's about atoms, like multiple atoms could like combine with each other to create like cool mechanics.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Each atom has a property, something like that.
Yeah.
Mereka ngomongnya bahasa ini ya? Bahasa programmer ya?
Go over the models here.
Kayaknya mereka ngomong bahasa programmer bener.
Stacking things on each other.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, so I just did like somehow using the diegetic nature of models as models or toys and kind of like playing around with that.
I'm not drawing it.
That action figure playset one, that stuck with me, kind of like the idea that you would be playing as a character associated with a playset, and you'd have mechanics associated with that character specific to that playset, but then you'd be able to switch between playsets. So like, let's say you're in a Mighty Max playset, and then you go into a like the Polly Pocket playset, but you'd bring over like your sword or fireball or whatever, and then you'd be able to use those to change the environment there that you wouldn't necessarily be able to in the other one, or like G.I. Joe and He-Man, if that anyone else gets that reference.
Like, I'm just picturing like if I had a Warhammer model, and I started as that going through a Warhammer level, and then brought that into a Barbie playset, all the Barbies would be 10 times the size of the Space Marine.
There you go. That'd be an interesting way to do it.
That's kind of funny.
And scale is involved as well.
Yeah. Alright. This one I think is probably too much for gaming. I'm gonna start going back.
Yeah.
Escalating choices, hard choices to build on previous ones. I was just thinking of like every time you make a choice, now the next choice is harder based on the thing that you made, and it becomes more and more stressful based on the choices you have to make.
Kok di sini putih dia?
Interesting, but I don't know that it will apply. So,
Kenapa di situ putih, di sini pink? What?
hop over to
What?
talk a little bit about city building stuff, and scaling and climbing is sort of.
Do we want to go over the Honey Just Shrunk the Kids
Rega.
and stuff? We got some stuff down
I think it was you. Yeah, you gave me. Oh, itu. Yang anjing itu loh.
Stuff I think.
Dog.
The kids and Ant-Man
Good
Giant
boy.
kind of fits
Remember?
into all the things we've been talking about.
Good boy.
Is there something in particular we want to try to build off of this?
Good boy, good boy.
Because it makes me think platformer. It makes me think.
Good boy, good boy. Ya, good boy kan?
Be right back.
In game.
Don't worry.
Game in game.
Similar to the platformer conversation that we had. A shrink growth ray, though, is interesting. Because instead of... That's more about scaling the environment or scaling things around you, rather than scaling yourself. That can be kind of cool.
I think it'd be pretty cool if you could scale the enemies and it's a puzzle game. Like, how could that be?
Oh.
Like something physics based where in like scaling the enemies increases their weight or something.
And maybe it slows them down and smaller ones move faster, and then you like my head just went to like lining up a shot that would go through every single enemy, but you can only do that after you have actually set up the enemies to be in the way that you need them to be for them to take your one shot or something.
Kind of reminds me of whatchamacallit, the Pacific Rim game. You know, I'm talking about the turn-based kind of puzzler combat game. You play as giant robots fighting giant insects.
Into the Breach?
That's the one.
Into the what?
That's interesting. Like an XCOM style game.
Into the Breach is a turn-based kind of top-down roguelike game where you play as like controlling up to 3 giant robots fighting to protect an island from a bunch of giant insects. And what made that game unique was how you kind of had foreknowledge of the actions that enemies were going to take. So like you saw like, okay, next turn they're going to attack this area, but I have the ability to. I do know for a fact they can hurt each other. So if I'm able to push this one monster into the path of another attack, that will cause that monster to attack its own ally. So, yeah, that's what this part reminds me of.
Yeah, I can picture like normally an enemy, if we're thinking about a tile-based game, the enemy attacks one tile ahead of it. Except I have now made the size of that enemy 3 tiles big, and so now it's actually going to attack a 3x3 square in front of it. And that now includes some of the other enemies that are on the board, and then I shrunk one of the buildings that I don't want to be damaged by that, and so now it takes up less space.
Eddie, hi Eddie. Halo Eddie.
And,
Palaku
and
pecah
like,
Eddie.
yeah, by default, let's say a
Jam
monster by
seginian.
default, it takes up 1 square. If you increase its size, it takes up 9 squares then, because it takes up the surrounding 3 on each side.
Whoa, I'm definitely killing myself ini.
Just to like put in scale perspective.
Let's jump down to scaling, climbing, city building, living in an environment, and climbing it. This, I think, probably has less value in 2D.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but I think this would be like a 3D kind of project, unless somebody else has a different idea about how you make a scaling, climbing kind of game work in
You
2D.
could do something. Sorry, you could do something like getting over it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is 2D.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking as well. But you
Yeah, I
would
was
build
thinking
the
all the
mountain.
Yeah. So getting over it.
What if it's getting over it, but you're the one that's building the mountain and AI is doing the game?
I can't do it, I know.
It's a neat idea.
Yeah,
And
that's
instead of making it
fun.
AI though, it might be
Making
easier
AI
to
stuff.
make that a 2-player game.
Yeah.
That 2-player, that would be really fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be easier than writing an AI to scale whatever bullshit we put together.
Getting over it.
That'd be kind of cool, like where
Cute.
one player has a bunch of assets that they're allowed to place. It's almost like horse games. Have you guys played horse games?
Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Ultimate Chicken Horse, yeah. So where like you get things that you can place down on the map, and then everybody else has to climb over those things. That could be kind of neat.
Huh?
Ultimate Chicken Horse. Because then you could also do Ultimate Chicken Horse, but then you could also play with the fact that there's scale mechanics, so that as people move through, the first set of things that you get are like small things, and then maybe after people climb over that, they grow to another size, and now you're placing. It still looks like 2 tiles high, but it's actually now it's a skyscraper. When before it was a refrigerator. You could do that kind of thing, which would be kind of cool. Snake stuff. Snake and Agario and Spore. It's all just small things, eating things until they get bigger.
Lucu juga.
I think that's probably the easiest thing to possibly do. But is there an interesting way to change that?
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking more like a gigantic slime or something inside. You jump on enemies, kind of like Mario, but like more like a top-down.
Is it Buzz?
Okay.
Is it Buzz?
Top-down perspective.
You serius?
I can see
Where you
that.
just jump
Enggak, aku gak ketiduran, aku lagi mengergit kayak
here.
kayak
Yeah.
what are they trying to talk? Jadi kayak gini loh.
Top-down snake.
Anggap ini ada 5 programmer, oke, 5 kan ya.
What is it?
5.
For the Sega Genesis, that was like
Habis itu
a 2D top.
they have their own different
They
values.
attempted to like do
Dan
like
pingin
with
ini
physics
apa?
in a pixelated format, but
Ya kan?
the core mechanics was you could enemies, which gave you biomass, which you
And then
needed to.
everything is
like,
great.
make
Yang mereka
helpful,
bilang tuh
but
kayak iya nih
also,
bagus nih
you
bagus
could
kayak.
expend it in order to
How can you
attach,
choose?
Like, fire off blobs yourself to attack
For
enemies at distance, or to otherwise.
which one's the best?
Like,
Apakah
create a
bakal ada
tentacle
yang
to,
tidak
like,
senang?
Switch off the distance.
So, what I was thinking, based on ini kayak cocoonnya tadi itu, but instead of cocoon, it's gonna be scales that we collect on the beach gitu. Jadi awal pertama anak kecil kan.
How you have to grow your
Kayak-
tentacles, but you have limited space.
What? Ngomong apa dia? Jadi ntar di setiap cocoon yang sphere which is now
Yeah, kind of a random
A scale.
center. I think fish scale is.
mereka kalau misalnya mereka
Kind of
satu
works
orang
the
punya
same
4
way
hari anggap
without
ini
the
daripada
dragon.
satu
It's a
ini
theme
habis itu
you
mereka
can use
pindah-pindah
anything.
codingnya because I don't understand how code works.
Which is cool.
Isn't it better kayak misalnya lu mau bikin yang snake
Go ahead.
and then kayak lu mau bikin yang building gitu kan.
That the magic carp story
Yeah.
that was based off the old like fairy tale of the fish that jumped over.
Fuck
the
off, that was
wall
mine!
into a dragon.
Hmm.
Yeah, it just popped in my head, like an word association type thing.
It's funny because I was out fishing yesterday and there was a guy actually fishing for carp and we got to talking and he told me that story because I thought it was bass that were jumping in the lake. He told me no, that's carp. They get that big and in the summer they jump that way. Like, I had no idea.
And then semakin banyak skill yang kamu kumpulin ya
There
semakin
was a Chinese story about
jadi
it.
gede
About
ya
jumping
ya
into the
skill
dragon.
kayak
Now,
tadi
the fact
grow
it's related
old
back to Pokemon, I don't know how
till
I
the
never
end
noticed
you
that.
collect all of the scales kan jadi kayak apa namanya kayak puzzle terakhir and then kayak ya gitu lah
Scaling a business.
kayak before you die and then the whole
Anything- any ideas
memories
from here, maybe that like
tapi jadi kayak story base gitu tapi di dalam story itu ada beberapa game-game kecil gitu kayak itu lah yang dia apa yang Hello Good Boy itu dan yang setiap game itu dihandle sama masing-masing orang ini jadi semuanya bakal maju dengan ide yang mereka
You might be
pilih gitu jadi nggak ada yang berantem.
Scaling a business is like too much into the theme. But how could it be interpreted for the team?
the scale of business.
Yeah.
Built to scale. I mean, you'd be trying to. I mean, if the game was like you're trying to just
expand
I
the
don't know,
business.
it's factory simulator kind of thing, and you're trying to like grow the factory or grow the business to pump out more widgets, then you need to hire folks to pump out widgets. You could actually like build a whole like business simulation kind of thing that I think where you get to be the CEO of a company and you kind of build something up.
Punya mutu baska.
That you're building this company to scale to be able to then have global distribution of your product rather than just selling it at a flea market to start with, something like that.
Berapa lama kah deadline-nya? 4 hari.
Like trading.
96 jam.
Like if you actually took that concept and applied it to like the dragon thing, it's like I'm trying to sell dragons around the world or something. Or yeah, fish. You could actually do like a fish market thing and so you build it up to a
Scale
big
of
enterprise
problem
where you're
in
selling
life.
things around the world. It's interesting. Scaling projectiles. So nice we put it on here twice. Dying reduces your size.
Yeah,
So
I was
gun-
thinking
yeah, go ahead.
they're more like top-down FPS.
Come on!
So it's like a full-on FPS style game. And then this was also work with like a bullet hell style kind of thing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the projectiles are just like massive. Actually, that kind of makes me think
Peternak
being able to
kucing.
scale yourself in a bullet hell
Kucing.
would be kind
Yeah.
of interesting.
Kucing.
Would you ever want to get bigger though? In a bullet hell?
What if you were the bullet and you
My
scale-
idea is achievable. Yang mana? Which
Like your shots were bigger the bigger you are.
which idea of yours?
Yeah.
If your character was the acrobat, you just ram things. But then, because then now I have a reason to go smaller and bigger. Because if you ever played Ikaruga, where it's like black and white bullets, it'd be a lot harder to avoid the enemy, the bad bullets if you're big. But you want to clear out a bunch of enemies at once, so you might want to go big.
Simple
And you just have
premise.
to, like,
Yeah,
get cool
what's the
colored bullets
premise?
that are coming at you.
Which
It could be
the
like
premise?
bullets like destroy each other, and bigger, like smaller bullets can't destroy bullets larger than themselves. You know, something like that.
Okay. Like a Terraria type thing.
Yang small business itu. Aku kepikiran small business tuh langsung kayak yang board game Chinatown itu.
Straight FPS. Does the scaling size of the projectiles work in that? If I'm playing Doom, or
Kayak gimana gitu? What do you have in
and
mind?
the enemies are firing projectiles and I'm firing projectiles. If they start increasing the size of their projectiles, it means that I need far more movement options.
The shrinking could be like that's what allows you to. It could be like shrinking is a defensive option or evasive option that allows you to go underneath bullets, but also you lose the ability to do damage to larger enemies, or at least your DPS output becomes reduced. And then going big, that is what allows you to actually do damage. So like enemies shooting at you, you go small, you go underneath their bullets, you go back up and you shoot them.
Ilpio mentraktir satu
It
love
could
juice.
also be now
Ilpio!
no time to reload.
Hai manis. Hai Ilpio manis. Thank you.
The
Kaget gua. Lagi fokus Ilpio.
works with other things too, but
Lihat
if you had a
nih,
game where you could
berantem
crouch or
itu.
jump, but those buttons just basically made you crouch or jump. It's just that you shrank in size.
Berantem dia
when
tuh.
you expand
Orang-orangnya
in size, everything
Ilpio.
was in between your legs. It's real dumb looking in my head. That's kind of funny. And that could work for pretty much anything. Okay.
Let them finish their
So we've got
ideas. Opo iki Mbak Mei, ini
Mushroom,
adalah
Gigantamax,
kita
Ultimate,
lagi
Gigantic,
apa namanya? Lagi
this as a
ini
thing, and that would kind of
lagi
bring this up into the platformer stuff. I mean, the Mario Mushroom.
berpikir tentang ini.
Gigantamax is
Lagi
just
mau
like
bikin
design.
game, ini lagi brainstorm.
It's more of a
What's that from again?
Kepalaku udah kaca. Anjing ngapain? Ilpio.
Ilpio mentraktir
Make the Pokemon
satu
go
love juice.
big.
His
They
Aduh,
do more
sebelum
damage.
bobo.
Those are the two things. I don't know. I have the capability
Ayo
to do
Cimi
it.
Ilpio.
Music scale. came to
Semoga
mind.
dapat mimpi yang
If
sangat
it's
indah.
something we could do. with
Meanwhile, I do
scale
this
within
thing, but this is
music
interesting, so
scale.
I don't
I mean,
mind.
it's
Tapi semoga kamu
for
istirahatnya
me,
cukup,
it's pretty easy to scale the music.
gak
but,
ribet.
the game has to kind of follow the music. You know what I mean?
Kepalaku lagi kepecah jadi
Kind of
9.
like the world around it, and then the music is kind of like.
Oh ya, ini
as
ada
the
music loh.
Scales, the game scales.
As in music scale the game, ya.
One of the ways to do it. It's easy to make music scales. It's just like loud and quiet. And
Pi,
different
mash
layers.
everything together. Biasanya soal global game jam tuh cuma 2 hari ya, apa 3 hari ya? 2 hari biasanya. Yang ini double ya.
So like somehow being able to tie, is that? I mean, I don't know enough about this kind of stuff, but is it possible for me to send you, or basically to have a parameter in the game for like intensity that changes based on where the gameplay is, and then the music just automatically reflects that? Is that an easy thing to modify?
yeah.
Like music you generate, John?
It's pretty easy to do. It's just there are some games that kind of change, like the music kind of stacks up, if you know what I mean. Like I have one texture going on, and there's something else happening in the game, and then there will be another texture introduced, and then after a while the music just gets massive. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do that in music. But it has to
Bisa
kind of
instantly fokus ke how the
ties to
gameplay and
what
kamu juga nggak
happened in
banyak
the
bikin
game.
difficult
Yeah.
assets and
I think
animations.
The way I think I understand it is like, okay.
Why didn't you join then
not
dari
using
awal?
You're walking down the street. You have like one track.
Tapi ini
playing,
bakal ada
and
ini
then,
kok. Nextnya bakal ada
enemy
lagi.
shows up
So,
with a new track,
if you wanna join
starts
with me,
playing.
please.
As you are engaging with the enemy, either like say your health goes below a threshold, a new layer is added to the music, kind of like show desperation. And if you get the enemy down to a certain health level, the music track changes.
I really like what they're going for. Tapi kita orang, I don't think Nine Mothers can make a baby.
Like try to say like, oh, this
What?
is a cool moment, like you're empowered.
I don't think Nine Mothers can make a baby in 1 month.
Does that sound about
I
right?
think they can.
Yeah, and have you guys played the Last Clockwinder?
Kalau misalnya mereka
It's a VR game.
make
where
it
it's
simple
really-
gitu loh.
It's like, I think we can
Banyak
bring,
tapi
like, the
simple. We're looking for
statue
quantity for
Yeah.
now.
It's basically like you're like a robot that could clone itself, and then every time you do an action, you could kind of clone that action, and it ends up being like a giant factory machine, like every doing something, and then it kind of every clone was like their actions connected with each other, and that game's music system was basically whenever a clone was created, there would be a music layer, and then and at the end you create like 10 clones, and the music is like massive.
What's the name of the game again?
The Last Clockwinder. It's an VR game. Yeah.
Is it
and
free?
The music system is super interesting.
The Last Clockwinder.
Just pulling up on my end.
In terms of factory games, it's there too.
The Last Clock.
When I was
Anjing mahal. Buset!
this was a platformer, but I don't know if that, like, actually using sheet music as a level.
Yeah, that could work too. Yeah.
Platformer, something like that. I don't know.
Hi.
I'm not
How
well
ma-
versed in music.
How many are you are programmers?
I think there's 3 of us, right?
Yeah, just 3 of us.
Me, Adi, and Domo.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's the other 2?
I am UX UI.
There's
No,
me, Tomo, and Tech.
Yeah.
Should I call you that? Or...
Yeah, tech's good.
I have a crazy idea because I've seen all of this and I really think that they're really good. And for this game jam, we have 4 days instead of 2 days like the usual ones. And I hate fighting. And I also hate that, for example, we have all of these ideas, but then only one gets picked. Usually there's some some bad feelings for the ones that don't get picked. So what I got from hearing all of you talking was, how about we make a game inside of game? So all of
Series of minigames.
I was thinking, do you remember somebody said about Cocoon and then I searched it when you went inside a sphere and then
Oh, Cocoon.
yeah. So the basic would be more like Cocoon. So because we have 3 programmers so far, let's just base it on one big game that includes all of the 3 mini games. The mini games would be the inside of each cocoons. I remember there were this snake thing and then the other thing, I don't know. I'm not a programmer, please forgive me. But it all the big game will also includes a story in the game. What I was thinking is about the scaling, as in us growing up as a person. We can bigger, and then as we grow up, the scale of our problems becomes bigger also. So each of the cocoons would basically be a threshold that we have to win. I don't know the language for that. So we can grow up even older, question mark. And then yeah, and as we grow older, of course, the one that do the music can showcase their music, and then out of those 3 cocoons, each of the programmers can do their own games without clashing with each other. Of course, just make it not as hard as you think, like those levels, blah blah. No, the level isn't the main game. The level is you finish one cocoon and then you grow up, and then you finish the other cocoons and you grow up until you die. And what I was thinking is, instead of a cocoon, the object is scale, like siren scale. And I was thinking about when you walk on the beach and you reminisce about your childhood and then you remember stuff. In the end, after the kid grows up until old, we can collect all of those collected scales. We can make it like the last puzzle game to showcase the life. I don't know.
It's an interesting idea to be able to connect multiple things together.
Yeah. Nobody will fight.
Well, I don't expect any of us to fight anyway.
Yeah, that wasn't on the table.
I'm going to start with that as if everybody starts fighting, we're not doing this anyway. But yeah, we'll find a way to make sure that everybody's involved and feels good about what we're doing as best we can. But I do like a lot of the thinking there.
Because I don't understand how a programmer works. For example, in one game, do you like pass the code to the other person, and then what? I don't know how you guys work, so I was thinking
Sure.
if each of you are good enough to make one game by yourself in 4 days. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm confused now.
But what I can say is that what you're proposing is not a bad idea, but it does mean that the three of us would then be coding to our own standards, not really learning from each other and not building upon each other's work. A lot of times, the way that developers that I've seen in my career is that you break a project into small pieces where those pieces don't overlap. If I'm working on the character controller for the main player, somebody else can be working on the enemy controller to get the enemies to move around. Somebody else can be building the system that connects into the sound design. There's lots of things that everybody can be working on at the same time. And so what would end up happening in this scenario with the mini games or smaller games all built into one is that you're not going to get the same level of quality that we would after 3 developers working on things, I don't think. And it also means that if one of us, God forbid, gets sick or needs to drop out, now you've got a missing third of the game. So it's probably better for us to build upon the same idea working all in tandem, because also what that would mean is that now you've got to do art for 3 games. John's got to do sound for 3 games. Whereas what I think we want to do as fast as we can is have the most minimal version of a game possible, something that shows the gameplay loop so that we all agree like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. And then you build upon that thing and you grow that thing over time, over the 4 days. Does anybody disagree with that or have different thoughts?
No, not at all.
No, I'm
Tori.
totally with you.
Yeah. Amy, does that make sense to you?
I guess I don't understand it well enough. As long as you can finish the game, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to work.
I'm not even going to guarantee that. If we're honest,
Oh.
But yeah, we're gonna do our best.
Because I'm used to work in a team where everyone bickers, so I used to get the middle road. You can do your part. You can do your part.
Yeah, I don't tend to run teams like that. Now, I'm not saying I'm running the team, but I don't want to be a part of a team that's going to bicker and argue the entire time. I just want to have fun and build something cool with you guys. And it seems like that's the vibe.
Because to be honest, I am really bored with the Mario type of game. No matter what the story is, and then people keeps producing all the same games and blah blah without a big difference to distinguish it from the other game. So if you can, please make something that is at least a bit different, okay?
Let's do this. Now that we've got like some general things going on here. I think we've talked through most of it. Now let's start like putting some. Here, is there a star? There is a star. Get yourself a star. Make 3.
So
of them,
begitu bas.
and put 3 stars on.
As if the
You can
main
put
game
them
is a
on
hub, like
any
so,
of
yeah,
these
kayak
sections,
kuku nih
and then
itu
it'll kind of give us a sense of where we're all leaning, right?
gitu.
To do that, I'm gonna go ahead
Soalnya
and
kalau
just-
orangnya kebanyakan